Hello, my social anti-socials. My name is Ginsu. Welcome to my personal public diary. July had hands. July was bad. I don't know what was in the air for July, but it was bad. And I thought I was the only one going through this until I checked in with one of my friends. And she was genuinely also going through it for real. One of my friends, people that follow horoscopes might know this, mentioned something about retrogade, this, that, I don't know, but July was was a tough month, beginning with what was giving me great anxiety. Last diary entry I talked about how I was so anxious during exam season and I was crying, and I don't know why I was crying, but genuinely it was out of anxiety. And it's like, man, I'm just crying and I just want this period of exams to just end already. And my results came. I was anxious, but I did really well. 3 of them I did really well. 2 of them I did okay. I'm just glad that I had no module to like repeat or anything, because that had been my thing since I've been enrolled with this institute. Like, there is no semester you could ever be confident that you cruise through, you could be ending a semester with high qualifying exam marks, and then comes the final exams and it's like, what are these results that I'm getting? It doesn't match. You begin with an 80 and then you finish with a 52, which is my case. And it's like, I don't get how that happened, but you know what, I just don't care. I just want to leave the institute already. I've been there for too long. Another thing is, there's an opportunity I've been invited to interview for, so we'll see how that goes. I still have VAC work happening in September. Interviews in August this month, and then VAC work is in September. I've applied to the bar. There's only 2 more bars left that I haven't applied to that are opening in September. But right now, all the bars that had opened, I've applied to. So we'll see the 10 out of events. And that being, the goal is to be at the bar. Law firms are my last resort. And even if I wind up at a bar, when opportunity presents itself, I will definitely jump shoot into the bar, because that is the goal. But yeah, that's what's been happening academically. I haven't had much happen I don't have a personal life. I don't have a personal life during this period, which can get very boring and monotonous. For me to be able to like socialize a bit, I do go to like networking events that have got to do with bringing together legal practitioners, whatever. And the university hosted a career fair day sometime end of July. Is it last week or like a week or 2 back? I don't remember. But it is towards the end of July. Went, socialized, met people, had fun, and it was great. I think this year I really haven't attended much networking events. I think it's because the most that would be hosted by the legal society would be hosted in other provinces this year. So yeah, but oh, and I was then accepted into one other organization that I've been pursuing to be part of, that has got to do with like training young arbitrators, mediators, whatever. So I was accepted in the young division of it, where they train youngsters that want to practice in that field, and that's great. So I'm looking forward to other things that might come my way. Honestly, it's all the yada yada boring legal stuff that's been going on in my life. I'm just very glad that I am propelling forward, But the personal life part is suffering, and I'm starting to feel it, because I'm one person, I get bored quickly. I cannot do something for so long. It starts irritating me. So I've been getting very irritated. All I do is like academics, work, and what else? Yeah, academics and work. Literally. I just sleep, wake up, eat, shower, move my body around, exercise, and work, and then study. And that's all my life has been for the past 2-3 years. And I would like my social life back. Like genuinely interacting with people. I don't get to interact with people much, rather than going to social events. My previous life was almost similar, except that I had the liberty to do whatever I wanted to do. If I just wanted to go to a mall to get food, whatever, I could do that. And see people outside, I could do that. But right now, I kind of cannot, because of my life schedule and also finances are a bit tight. I can't wait to it feels so frustrating when you're a person who's accustomed to working for yourself and making money for yourself, and now you're in a position where you can't do that. It's very frustrating. I don't have a personal life, and I really want that back. I'm not really an all the out person. I'm not the person where you find me outside like that. No, I generally like being indoors. I generally like being home. I'm a homebody and I enjoy my space and being by myself a lot. However, I do have instances where I would like to interact with people and see people and be outside. So right now, I kind of not in that position to do that, which is very frustrating. I'm hoping, I'm hoping moving forward, I could get to a point where I can see how to include that into my life schedule after the whole studies shebang. And I'm now either at the bar or at, the firm, wherever I'm going to wind up. And just kind of balance my life in that way that I have social life and work life. Of course, with the studying there, because we are forever studying. Yeah, on top of, you know what, backtrack. What I mean by July had hands. And it was just bad air and the energy. First of all, I lost my files. A lot of my files on the computer got wiped out, which was stressful because it had to do with my company stuff, my academic stuff, my work stuff with the law firms and the other bars and other people I've been working with. Like, I don't like Microsoft. Whatever tech is existing right now is bullshit. And so, yeah, I lost them. However, see why school is important. I remembered a little bit about something we were taught in school. Of course, the files were deleted, but there's a way to get the files back for as long as the memory is not written on. So I figured a way to get those files back, and I got most of them back. Some of them were already written over because I'd been using the machine, and even the USBs I'd used to move around the files were written over because of my figuring out how not to compromise what's left, to not lose it completely, to the ones that were lost, and that memory got written over when I was transferring the files. But yeah, I managed to get most of them back, and then for the ones that I did not get back, I had to go manually go back to the places where I could get those files, and I did most of them. I think right now the only thing that's literally missing is like one contract. One contract, and I texted the person that I had entered a contract with to send me that copy back, and that'll be it. That would be it. Like, everything else is back to normal. I have everything back to normal, and so yeah. Other things that they're just typical things that I know I can redo them because they were my mind. Like, I lost my database. I have a database that I work with in my other PR world, and that's lost. However, there's a version of it that exists online on an online system I use, and then there's an extensive one of it on another company that's not mine, but I use it to source some context from, and then it's a matter of just redoing it again. I had lost track of, because I when I apply for jobs, I create like this database where I keep track of my job applications and where I'd applied, and like I identify different firms that do what I want to do, and I target them and I check who's responded to me, who's not, where did I apply, where have I not applied. Not lost that, but I was able to retrieve that by redoing it again because of the track record in my mails and also my social media pages. So that's that. But everything else was doable, and I redid everything. But that was, the past 2 days after I lost those files, I was just battling getting them back, and my heart was sore. I was just like, everything me is erased. My photos, my videos, my work life, I was so stressed. But we thank God I was able to retrieve that. So that was one epic fail for July. And then, good side of it, I got promoted in my workplace. I got trusted a little bit more. So we moved from intern to now paralegal, and that comes with a lot of responsibility from now to, or rather to now, communicating with like clients directly, for real. It's pretty much still the same job I used to do as an intern, but now a little bit more is trusted, and I'm entrusted with a little bit more, which has been pretty cool. But it was so unsettling and scary because when I started, I don't know whether it's July, it's just me, or it's just I was making so many silly mistakes. Oh my God. I'm just glad that it was not like super super big mistakes, because in the legal world, you have to be a perfectionist, and I used to be that, and it harmed me a lot. I had to untrain myself and like unlearn being a perfectionist and blowing things out of proportion for little things. because it harmed me a lot and it harmed people around me. So I had to really tone that down. But the Leo felt that trait is what's valued. You have to be like super, 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 very, what do they call it? What do they call it when you're like a very precise person? Attention to, yes, you have to pay attention to detail, which for some reason, when it comes to the Leo, I don't have attention to detail. It's so funny because in the creative space, I am, but in the legal space, you know, and making mistakes is like a big deal. Like, for example, if you use the wrong word or you misspell the word in maybe a contract agreement or something, it changes the whole context of the thing. So imagine those kind of things, compromising clients or whatever. So I would make so many silly mistakes, but thank God they were not that major that, but yeah, I did get called and reprimanded that I need to get it together, because if I continue on that trajectory, I would have winded up in a situation I do compromise the law firm. So it's crazy. Yeah, that was not fun. Because I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but like, I'm just messing up this month. So bad. But I think towards the end of July, things started to ease off a bit, or maybe I'm starting to be a little bit comfortable in my role. I don't know, but I'm just hoping that doesn't continue. I'm gonna be doing my best it doesn't. But yeah, that's the positive side, and that's the negative side. Yeah, and then it was stressing me out because I almost was like getting very jumpy because I would stress out like, oh, once I've sent out correspondence, am I gonna receive a correction from my boss? What, did I do anything wrong? Like, like, so it gets a bit nerve-wracking, but yeah, we're getting a hang of it. But yeah, so I'm very grateful for the fact that I got to be trusted more, to do more, and to see like even the broader scale of things and how things are done. Because by the time I leave that firm, I would have gained so much experience. Like for the past years I've been with this man, I've learned so much, I've done so much. It's super cool. I compile into a file, portfolio to showcase what I can do so far. I'm not saying I know everything, because I still have to be super proper rigorously trained as a lawyer, but we get it somewhere, and this whole experience also built my confidence. School alone, you will go through school, and you are untested, but in practice you're a bit more tested. And if you are like me, a person who's not an academic, my confidence really shooted because I got to experience myself as a practitioner. I was like, oh, so I might be bad with some marks, not might not be the highest performer, but I actually do know my shit. I do know my work. And it's so funny how you might think you don't know something, and then you're put in a situation, you start recalling all the information you learned, or at some point you'd encountered, and you're able to like really do the work. And that was a very new experience. So I'm like, I would have thought I'm super bad, because looking at my academics, I'm like, I'm not really a great academic. But practice really boosted my confidence and self-esteem. I really, really got a good image of myself and got the picture and vision come to life, to see myself as a practitioner and the kind of practitioner I am and will be, and the areas I'm to improve, the areas I'm great at. Yeah, I've really learned a lot, which I think in overall, just me really sprinting forward to finish my degree, putting myself out there, networking with people, working, gaining work experience in the field, upskilling myself more, challenging myself a little bit more, has preoccupied me so much that I haven't had any time to like have downtime and like be depressed about my life. In any case, I've talked about how for some reason I just started being very happy, which I am. And I guess my mental strength and just me being emotionally and mentally stable has added on to my mental strength enough to propel, to go forward. And yeah, it also helped me to construct a world I'd like to exist in professionally. The bummer is still Ginsu. I don't like the fact that Jinsu had to take a back seat, but I genuinely do want to bring Jinsu to life as I envisioned, and even more. There's so much I envisioned for Jinsu, but this is where we're at right now. Some things we gotta do, because remember that I have two lives. I have my actual real adulting life, and then my creative expressive life, which is here. And it had to begin with me just expressing myself and diarizing my emotions and feelings. This was actually a way for me to kind of like process my feelings. At the time I started, like, which is why it's public diary. It's a way to like log my feelings, my experiences. There were so many diaries that I logged that I had to remove from the internet, simply because the nature of the internet space started to really change. So, and I had to vet some diary entries, like, oh, I wouldn't want that to be used as ammunition in any type of way, or ridicule or whatever. Those diary entries did what they needed to do for somebody else who needed to see them, interact with them, and they also did something for me. Once it's diarized, I've moved past it. It's processed, and somebody else will interact with this diary entry and will gain a certain perspective, and maybe hopefully it helps them too. But once it's done, it's done. I couldn't keep them on the internet, and they were very vulnerable. And others, I just also didn't want to compromise my loved ones, bearing in mind my life as a legal practitioner. One, because we have to be super private with our lives for security reasons, and also ensuring like they're not in any way pried on by people on the internet. Because sometimes, or rather most times, whatever you put on the internet will find its way its way that it's interpreted by different people. If you could say something and truly mean exactly what you're saying, and somebody else will have a different meaning for it, and it just becomes ugly. It's very rare where you see interactions being beautiful on the internet as of recent. I do appreciate people here because I haven't had like nasty interactions. It was always people reaching out to me telling me how my diary entries are impacting them, how they're either in the same situation or they were once there, and this is how they got past that, this is how they healed it, this how, like, I like that better, which I think is a purpose for communication, for us to reach out to each other, to have some sort of positive impact on each other. But, well, life ain't that perfect now, is it? And things don't always turn out that way. So, yeah, and there's so much more I still want to do creatively. There will come a time where I move away from this format of, content creation, and not being a diary entry, and there be other things. I still genuinely want to put up my mixes on here. I still genuinely want to do like drama reviews because I watch those a lot. Drama reviews, anime reviews. I'd like to still genuinely like to explore the world of gaming, game streaming once I have that kind of setup going on. I still genuinely want to explore the world of animation. These are the things I really want to do and create out of Ginsu. But I'm not there yet because I have to adult. but but very soon. And also, BAM aspects had to happen, like my logo that needs to be redone, my photo shoot that needs to be redone. Like, so many things happened that just hampered my progress into really fleshing out Jinsu. It's annoying, but I don't mind restarting. It's never a big deal for me, really, unless it is something to my core. Because life is about restarting over and over and over and over and over. You gotta know how to restart. You gotta be okay with restarting and not be scared of restarting. And you gotta have the skill to pivot, which I am queen of pivoting. The lives I've lived, too many. And I'm about to live more lives. It's insane. But yeah, as much as July was insane, it also had its positives, its good news, and I'm just grateful to God for everything that is happening, that is turning around in my well-being and all. But that is it from me to you till next time. Next time I'm probably going to tell you guys how my interview was, or how my summer vacation work was, and stuff like that. I don't vlog. I don't mind vlogging, but I don't vlog, and also I don't like to always document everything. Like, I'd like to live life in the present than constantly holding cameras. And also, I don't have much going on in my life for me to enable me to vlog. And for the few times that things are vloggable, I don't exist in spaces where I can vlog. for example, my legal career. There is no way I'm going to set my back work at a certain law firm and I'm vlogging. No, we just don't exist in such spaces. Well, some people are very, very daring enough to do that. I'm not. I like my career very much. I respect it very much. Not that those ones are not respected, but they have certain agreements they've entered into their employers with. But yeah, I don't do that. And a lot of what we do has to be done in confidence. Confidentiality is a primitive value with lawyers. So yeah. Um, what else? And also even my friends. I don't like show offing my friends. I don't like show offing my family. When you go on my pages on GC, you'll surely see my family, but you won't find them where they are. You won't know their names. You won't literally locate them. You might see their picture here and there. My friends is the same story. Like you'll see my friends, some of them, one or two of them, but you won't you won't see them through it through it. Like so, and I think I've really like to keep it that way. With romantic relationships, it's similar thing, except with that, it's to the core. I don't post no man. You won't find no man. I won't post it. Because is that man my husband? No. Why would I post a passerby? You know, but even if I feel like even if I was to get married one day, I genuinely wouldn't want my life partner to just be on the socials like that. Maybe I'll post it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll post it, but just not on regular. I just yeah, my close ones I generally want to keep to myself and yeah, because again, like I said, yay, my profession. You have to be super, super aware of your security and yeah, just existing on the cyberspace, careful. But yeah, that's it from me to you. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.